Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled Single Mom of 8 Shot Dead by Her Abusive Ex-Boyfriend. Let's get right into it.
On June 30th, 2022, a 29-year-old mother of 8 children, Marisha Thomas, made a courageous decision to refuse her boyfriend in her own home. But what happened next left those who knew her regretting that decision. Minutes later, the police would receive a harrowing 911 call from the woman's boyfriend about a shooting in the same home at Crosswood Lane in Cordova, Tennessee. And when the police got there, they found a heart-breaking scene. Marisha was lying on the floor of the garage, riddled with bullets and barely clinging on. She was rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately, it was too late. She died of her injuries soon after reaching the hospital. As the police dug for answers, they turned to the boyfriend who made the call and claimed of chasing away the shooters. But something didn't sit right, and it wasn't long before police made a shocking discovery as to why a mother of 8 was unalived. This is the tragic story of Marisha Thomas. Marisha Thomas was born into the Thomas family on October 29, 1993. From the very beginning, she was surrounded by love, and as she grew, she carried that same warmth with her, radiating it everywhere she went. Marisha was always full of joy, kindness, and love. She grew up with her family in downtown Memphis. Even though she wasn't the oldest child, she acted like she was. She took care of her siblings and made her family proud every day. Everyone looked up to Marisha. Her siblings adored her and trusted her with everything. Her father was proud of the woman she was becoming. Marisha was the bright light in her family, the one who always wanted to do the right thing. However, her destiny didn't seem to lie in where she was at the time. Chasing a better future, Marisha moved to Cordova, Tennessee, not too far from home, but just far enough to start fresh. She had big dreams and was ready to work for them, and she did. Marisha was focused, hardworking, and careful with every step she took. But what she didn't know was that all her efforts, all her hope, would lead to heartbreak instead of the happiness she imagined. Marisha had a heart of gold, but life didn't always return the favor. She loved deeply and cared genuinely, but when it came to love, she just didn't get lucky. Every man who came into her life took her kindness for weakness. Instead of cherishing her, they hurt her. All because she had a soft heart. It wasn't just the fact that the men all left her, but the way they usually did was shocking. After a while, the men she trusted would leave her, leaving behind the children they had together. In the end, Marisha had 8 beautiful kids, but her heart never stopped hoping for that happy ending. What she didn't know was that love, sometimes, can lead you in situations that bring you pain instead of joy. That's exactly what happened to Marisha. Marisha was loved by everyone who knew her. She always had this way of helping those around her. Her little sister would say that Marisha was a giver with a heart that was bigger than most. Even when she didn't have much, Marisha would give all she had to make sure others were taken care of. With so many mouths to feed, it was never a burden for her. She just saw it as part of who she was, someone who gave, no matter what. In her community, Marisha was always there, helping, supporting, and standing up for those who had no one else to fight for them. At home, even as a single mother, she made sure her kids had everything they needed to feel safe and loved. Even though they came from different fathers, her children shared a bond that was unbreakable. They loved each other, like true siblings. Marisha worked tirelessly, taking on multiple jobs to make sure her kids had everything they needed while working in Cordova. But someone was about to take her attention from her children temporarily. While she was there, she met a 33-year-old man named Byron Pipkin.
I want to stop it right there. So she, and by the way, this is a tragic story, and I want this to be a cautionary tale and a teachable moment, because so many women, they make poor decisions in their lives that end up in places like this that it could be completely avoided. So she was a single mom of multiple kids from Memphis, Tennessee. She moved to Cordova, Tennessee. and she met a man 33 years old, and we're going to learn about their kind of tragic love story. But the reality of it is that so many women are chasing love, right? And I think this is probably one of the main reasons why a lot of women struggle in life, because they chase love. Love, love, love. I want the feeling, and someone wants me, someone desires me. Let me tell you something. Put purpose over love. Put purpose over pleasure. Right? You're a mother of multiple children by different men. It's time to put your love aside. It's not about your love anymore. It's about these children. And unfortunately, and we already know how the story ends, and we're going to figure out what led to it, but because she put her love first, and looks like that's what she's doing this entire time, it's about her, it's about her, it's about her, now she won't be able to be there for her children. Now her kids are orphans. Why? Because she was pursuing love. And the Bible, and by the way, you're probably wondering why I'm dressed in this suit. I just came from church. It's Easter Sunday. I wanted to get the word, but I also know that I got to do the work. So I don't know if you guys could expect to see me in suits all the time. But either way, I just think that this is such a avoidable tragedy a lot of black women can learn from. So I hope you guys really heed to the advice that I'm about to give.
Despite her past relationships not turning out the way she hoped, Marisha never gave up on love. Before long, she found herself falling deeply, madly in love with Byron. Not that she was desperate for love or something, but there was actually something special about Byron. Byron was charming and full of love, and he quickly won Marisha's heart. He cared for her deeply and accepted her kids as his own, even though he wasn't their father. That made Marisha fall for him even more. Byron, in turn, was drawn to Marisha because of her kind and genuine heart. Not much was known about Byron, but he was a hard worker with big dreams for his life. After they met, he and Marisha quickly began dating. On social media, they looked like the perfect couple, always sharing photos of their dates, hangouts, and time spent together at home.
This one's for couples. 13 embarrassing questions. Who overthinks everything? Who showers less? Who is always eating? Who has a nicer butt? Who is more possessive? Who drools more? Who is a better driver? Who curses more? Who always sleeps in? Who is always on their phone? Who has the worst singing voice? Who takes the most selfies? Who is the lawbreaker?
Their love seemed so strong that many friends and family couldn't help but envy the bond they shared. Not long after, Marisha became pregnant and gave birth to Byron's child. But what seemed like the perfect life was just a facade. Byron worked hard to hide his true nature, but eventually it came to light. He was quick-tempered, rude, and selfish, caring for no one but himself. Marisha loved Byron despite everything. To her, he supported her and her kids, and that made her believe he cared. But deep down, she knew that wasn't enough to justify staying in such a toxic relationship. She deserved more than just empty support. It wasn't the love she had hoped for. As the saying goes, you can only hide your true nature for so long. And that was the case with Byron. Whenever he got angry, he became physically abusive towards Marisha. He would curse at her and make life unbearable for the kids too. His kindness, once a mask, faded, revealing the cruelty underneath. But there was more. The kids, who once saw Byron as a father, began to fear him. Whenever he started throwing tantrums, they would run and hide, seeking shelter so they wouldn't get caught in the middle of the fights between him and their mom. The man they once trusted had turned into someone they could no longer recognize or feel safe around. They used to share happy pictures of their love, but as things began to change, Marisha started posting sad messages on her social media. It was clear to everyone that the beautiful relationship they once showed off had taken a dark turn. What had triggered Byron's sudden change? Or was this his plan all along? He had entered Marisha's life just to bring her more pain than she had already had? The questions hung in the air, unanswered. As the truth about Byron slowly unfolded, Marisha welcomed Byron into her life. even though his family didn't approve of his attitude. She treated his family like her own, showing them nothing but love and kindness. At one point, Byron even took to social media to praise Marisha, thanking her for all the love and support she had shown him and his family. Little did anyone know that praise would soon fade as the truth about their relationship came to light. Byron even praised Marisha for putting up with his bad behavior, promising to change and become the very best version of himself for her and the kids. For a while, it seemed like things might actually improve, but just when it looked like there was hope, Byron would snap, turning back into the monster he truly was. He would beat her up, sometimes even pointing a gun at her, threatening to end her life. Each promise of change was just a lie, and the cycle of abuse continued. The abuse grew worse, to the point where Marisha's father, Mr. Thomas, warned her to leave before it was too late, before Byron finally took her life.
If he fighting you, pulling guns on you, get out the relationship, because sooner or later, like I told my daughter, he is going to kill you.
If only Marisha could turn back time, she would have listened to her father and left with her children, but by then, the damage had already been done, and it was too late to undo the pain she had already suffered. Something tragic was about to happen. On the afternoon of June 30th, 2022, tension hung heavy in the air at the home of Marisha and Byron in Cordova, Tennessee. What once appeared to be a picture of love had now crumbled into something dark and dangerous. After yet another heated argument, Marisha made a desperate move. She tried to escape. She was done living in fear and pretending things would get better, but she had no idea that trying to leave that day would become a fight for her life. As she hurried toward the garage, hoping to find safety and protect her children, Byron's anger escalated. In a horrifying moment, he pulled out a firearm and shot Marisha in the front yard. The sound of the gunshots shattered the fragile calm, and Marisha collapsed, gravely wounded. Despite the chaos, one of their children was hiding nearby in the garage, witnessing the terrifying scene unfold. Byron then dragged Marisha's lifeless body into the garage, concealing the tragedy from the outside world. Without remorse, he fled the home, taking their 6-year-old child with him, after which he did something quite shocking. He called 911, claiming that an unknown gunman had come into their garage and shot Marisha. He told the dispatcher he was on a wild chase to catch the supposed culprit, all while hiding the truth of what he had just done. When the officers arrived at the crime scene, everything changed. The truth about what had really happened between Marisha and Byron came to the light. Byron, who had called 911 saying he was chasing the shooter, was soon being tracked by the very police he had called for help. The question was, why would the boyfriend, who witnessed and reported the incident, become the prime suspect? The more the police learned, the clearer it became. Byron was no hero, but the man who had pulled the trigger. The next day, neighbors who had witnessed the horrific event came forward to the police. They told officers who had traveled from downtown Memphis to Cordova exactly what had happened. They explained how the argument between Byron and Marisha escalated, leading to Byron shooting her as she tried to escape through the garage. After he shot her, Byron dragged her lifeless body into the garage, took her daughter with him, and then drove off. This revelation changed everything for the police, confirming what they had suspected all along. This all unfolded around 11:45 a.m. on July 1st, 2022. By the time the police arrived at the crime scene, it was already too late. Marisha had lost too much blood. She was rushed to the hospital, but despite the doctor's efforts, she succumbed to her wounds. Her death was heartbreaking, not just for her family, but for the entire neighborhood. The loss of such a kind and loving soul left a deep, painful mark on everyone who knew her. The neighbors shared stories of how friendly, loving, and caring Marisha was to everyone she met.
She was very friendly. She used to walk her dogs around, speak to everybody. Everybody knew her. Very good person at heart.
She wasn't just beautiful on the outside.
You know, what's so terrible about all this is that this is what ignorance does to communities. This ghetto culture that we have in black communities, get tattoos all over your body, forget about the Lord, don't have any values for higher education. And I'm not even just saying going to school, but I'm talking about reading and understanding. All these things, since we don't value them, we're going to get the results of people that don't value them. If you don't value the sacrality of your body, then yeah, you're going to cover it with tattoos. Yeah, you're going to be on the internet twerking. Yeah, you're going to be on the internet showing your body. This is a girl who fell for the culture. She's a victim of the culture. This ghetto culture. And just like that man too, another dude, victim of the ghetto culture. We're not smart. See, this dude is crazy. I'm thinking that on so many levels because this dude thought he was so clever. He could lie to cops and say, yeah, someone came, shot her, and I'm on a high-speed chase trying to chase them. That don't make no sense, bro. That don't make no sense, bro. That don't make no sense. The fact that he thought he could get away with that lie just showed how ignorant that dude was, yo. How ignorant, bro. But again, she chose him. You're sleeping with this ignorant dude. You're having babies by this ignorant dude. Why? Because I want love. I want togetherness. Oh, I like a man with dreads, and he's tough, and he got guns, and he's a gangster. But then, now look at you. He did some gangster shit to you. Women in our community, they make fun of squares. Oh, you're a square. Like, a square is a derogatory. I never felt offended by it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people say, oh, you're a square. You're a square. I never got offended by it. Because I know that, you know, the Bible talks about this. People take good as evil and evil as good. And that's exactly what's happening there. You're looking at me, oh yeah, he make fun of him, he a square. What he know? Man, I'm smarter than him. I got a gun, I'm a gangster. People respect me. I'm not impressed by that. You're impressed by that, and you could be impressed by it. I know a lot of gangsters. They don't impress me. They might be scaring people around their neighborhood. They don't impress me. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. It don't take a lot to throw your life away to crime. That's not impressive to me. I feel for people because I do feel like they're kind of victims too. Look at her daddy. Her dad got gold grills. People are born in an environment where there's chaos. And so it just repeats itself. It takes a strong will to be able to reflect on yourself and realize that this is all nonsense. I'm fortunate. I grew up with a dad who's very successful, very smart. And all I had to do was just lean on that. Now, we didn't have the best relationship for everything, but I'm just trying to say, I know that I had an unfair advantage compared to a lot of people, so I don't condemn them like, you're so dumb, you're so stupid. But look at me. I'm plant-based. I'm vegan. I didn't grow up vegan, right? I made a decision to say, you know what, I could be eating healthier than this. I'm also someone, I'm a personal trainer. I didn't grow up with a dad that worked out. I'm saying this to say that, you know, you're a victim for up to a certain point. When you're becoming an adult, you can make your own decisions, your own choices. You're no longer a victim. Now you got to decide, wait, the life that I grew up in, was it really right? Was it really wrong? Like, now my dad is actually trying to get into the gym with me. You know what I'm saying? Now he's like, oh, take me to the gym. Look, now my dad wants to work out with me. My kids, from the jump, they're going to be working out in the gym. And I'm saying this to say that we as people need to take the responsibility of what happens to our lives after 18, after 19, after 20. You're a victim but for so long. But a lot of people just stay that way. They don't work hard towards anything. And a lot of people say, oh, they don't know any better. You don't know any better. That's all he knows. He's all he knows. Oh, man, he's ghetto. He's gangster. That's all he knows. Well, guess what? Learn something new. Because the ignorance is going to cost you this. This is the price of ignorance. Single mom of 8 murdered by her new baby daddy of 1. Why? Because of jealousy and anger, not knowing how to control your emotions. Not having the emotional intelligence to say, just because I'm mad don't mean that gives me the warrant to kill somebody. So now she has 8 kids that are essentially orphans because the daddy going to be in jail, mommy dead. Daddy in jail, mommy dead. Think about those 8 kids, the life that they got to go through. Mommy dead, daddy in jail. Well, one person's daddy because that, stepdaddy in jail. I could say so much about this. This hurts my heart. This is tragic. And here's a woman I think she's attractive. She could have been something great. She could have been a track star. She could have been a high academic. She could have been a wife if she just kept her legs closed. Ladies, keep your legs closed. Stop sleeping around for pleasure. If you give your life to pleasure, this is the result. This is why you think I'm heavy on the word? Because God tells us not to do any of this stuff. First of all, God says, die for your wife, die for your woman. And they tell your woman, submit to your man. Submit to your husband. Here's a woman submitting to the streets. Here's a man submitting to the streets. God, they don't even look at God. God don't mean nothing to none of these people. And God says, don't just hear my words, follow them, take action, right? Because a person that just listens to his word and don't take action, they're going to hell too. Here's an example. So, Rest in peace to this girl. I think it's so tragic, but I think this is like I said, a teachable moment for a lot of women who go around, become single moms because they're chasing pleasure. They want a man to make them feel good. They're not concerned about, is this a good man? If you don't learn as a woman how to discern a good man from a bad man, you're going to end up like this. You're going to have 8 kids by different fathers, and you're going to get murked by one of them. I guarantee a girl like this will pass up on Squares, the nerdy dude who was studying and doing the right thing in school. He's a square. He's a loser, man. Yeah, my boyfriend, he's a gangster. You know what I'm saying? He'll shoot that dude. And mind you, you know what I'm saying? You don't realize the square grows up, knows how to become a productive civilian citizen to the point where he can go out and get his own firearm permit to carry like I do. And now I can buy guns freely and don't have to hide them. Don't have to scratch a serial number off it. I try to tell this to people because if you really want to be someone that protects yourself with firearms, keep a clean record with no felonies, no domestic violence, none of this stuff, and you can have all the guns you want. The state would allow you to do so. So what's really gangster? The dude who got a gun and no one can do nothing about it? When I ride around in my car with my gun on my lap, nobody can do nothing about it. I'm not scared. I see the lights behind me. I'm not scared. Oh, man, guys, go pull you up. What should I do with the gun? Throw the gun out the window. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I might tuck it a little bit because I know I don't want the cop to walk up on me and see a gun out there. You know what I'm saying? I had the gun on my lap today because I couldn't really have it. It didn't feel comfortable in my waistband with the suit on. But let's say if the cop came, I could have just tucked it here and said, all right, the cop came, hands on the steering wheel. Officer, I got a lawful permit to carry. I'd like to show you my lawful permit. My firearms on my sidearm. What you need me to do? Give them all the paper registration. Okay, yeah, you checked out. Okay, you have a good day. Okay, have a good day. And I'm on my way with my pistol. That's gangster to me. Not running around trying to hide your gun. The cops pull you over, you're throwing the gun out the window. You gotta beg police, please, officer, don't do nothing to me. Don't take me to jail. Don't take me back to jail. You think that's gangster? When the cop becomes your oppressor and your cop becomes your God, you gotta beg the cop for mercy. I ain't begging no cops for mercy. I cooperate. I respect authority because that's a smart civilian thing to do. And because I respect the authority, in my state, New Jersey has the strictest gun laws in the nation. They allow me, a black man, to carry a firearm, which allows me to protect my family without trying to hide and run around and blah, blah. And I would never run into a situation like this because this is not what you're supposed to do with firearms. Use them when you're angry to bully people. It's a gangster thing to do. Gangsters go around bullying people with their guns. But civilians, you know what we do? When a gangster tries to bully us with a gun, and they point, like if a gangster ever pointed his gun at me, and I got my firearm on me, let me tell you something, man. Legally, you just gave me the right, to shoot you. And I'm saying all this because what we think is tough ain't really tough. What we think is right ain't really right. All this stuff comes from the ignorance of really understanding what's really going on. And that's why it frustrates me. That's why it bothers me. Because women look up to men that they think are strong, but they're really weak. And they think the men that are weak are really strong. People might have thought, he a nerd, he a loser, he a square. Well, guess what? I got just as many guns as any gangster. As any gangster. The difference is I got all my serial numbers, none of them scratched off, and I'm allowed to carry with me in my car and where I travel to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who really got it? That's gangster to me. Could walk around with a gun without impunity. Cops are gangster to me because they walk around with their gun with impunity. They take their gun everywhere. That's gangster to me. The biggest gang to me is the cops. So unless people figure out a way that they could take down the cops, which I don't think there's going to be a way, you ain't really gangster because you got to submit to another gangster, the cops. Everybody run when they see the cops coming. All gangsters run when they see cops coming. So who really the gangster? So again, I'm trying to say this to say that this nonsense about what's tough, what's this, what's that, this culture, our culture idea of stuff, it gotta change, bro. It gotta change, bro. You do not treat a woman like this. Women, you do not open up your legs, let a bunch of men give you pregnant. Save your womb for your husband. Give kids to a man that's going to protect and provide for you. Not a man that's going to beat you up when he's mad. Okay? We really need to teach our daughters, our sisters, way better than this, yo. This is something that could have completely been avoided. All this is because of bad decisions. If she never opened up her legs for not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5 of her baby daddies and decided that she's going to keep her virginity till she's married, she would have a much different life. This is a beautiful woman. She would have had a much different life. And so this is my mission, to go out there and help and do something about this. Okay. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. God bless you. Happy Easter to you all. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you over there.